What if the systems that are built on agentic AI, systems that utilize the model context protocol, are built on services which they themselves are not reliable? Will this feed into the narrative that AI isn't going to take over white collar jobs? And the reason I doubt that narrative is because, number one, it's the messenger is the message. The AI vendors, the generative AI vendors, are all coming out swinging from Silicon Valley, just trying to spread this dangerous and very disturbing narrative, very destructive narrative about generative AI in systems taking over the world, that it will wipe out white collar entry level jobs. And the reason I say it's disingenuous is because, as we've already seen in the study that is in the description, that generative AI based agentic systems are LLM agents cannot be trusted. They have a very low rate of accuracy. And this was shown in the study, which is in the link that I'm providing in the description. But also, the problem is that we have services that these agents depend on, which are also machine learning services, but they don't provide the level of accuracy and even can mislead the people who depend on the agents that depend on these services. So a very simple example was just now I needed to go to the airport. I went to a wrong road, so I was hoping that the GPS system would lead me back, to the right path. Now we all know that GPS is based on machine learning. It's definitely not hard-coded rules-based, discrete systems, right? So they depend on a very large corpus of geolocation data in order to tell you, to give you the inference for the best route. Now, right in the middle of a 4 or 6 lane highway, a roundabout appeared on the map, and the GPS system, the inbuilt car system, confidently said, you take a third right here. Yes, take a third right here, in the next 100 meters. I was in the middle of a highway. The roundabout just appeared on the maps, and it's crazy. So I had to actually find a place, get off the highway, find a place which I could park the car, and I was quite taken aback by the terrible accuracy of these systems. Maybe I should have gotten a paper map. And to enforce that point, I whipped out my phone and I tried to look for a maps app that could take me to the right place. And that map also confabulated a route, and where I looked at the directions, I was right in front of the airport. The airport was on my right, the entrance was on the right, and it asked me to take a left. And the left route would have sent me on a wild goose chase, like a huge roundabout, to get to the airport. Logically, it's illogical. I mean, technically, you could take that big route, but why would you when, the airport's on the right? So, 2 failures of machine learning. Well, actually, they're not really failures. They just illustrate the problem of neural networks and these new machine learning, sorry, not new, but machine learning systems that are so deeply rooted in the mathematics of probability and statistics. As we know from the transformer architecture, that the base activation function is the attention function. Sorry, a bit of geekery here. And the attention function is what happens when you feed values into a softmax function, which takes a function and then gives you a function. And the result of that is that you have a function that when you run an attention function, it gives you a range of values. It doesn't give you discrete values like a normal software system would, a non-machine learning one. So if these systems are based on mathematics that are probability and statistics based, you will have a chance of it getting wrong. And if you have a chance of it getting wrong, imagine an autonomous system that gets it wrong. And imagine these autonomous systems being deployed in life and death situations such as healthcare, aviation, and even financial systems where when you get it wrong is catastrophic. Insurance, imagine if you get billed the wrong insurance amount, or you're being flagged with the wrong risk profile. Or imagine banking, where your banking balances are completely out of whack because the system made a mistake. You would be up in arms. So that's why I think that this whole narrative coming from Silicon Valley that agentic AI is indisputably the way to replace workers and to wipe out white collar jobs, entry level ones even. I think it's disingenuous because it can't even get basic things like location right. So how can it thrive? That's a question.